My dear friends, our gospel text is from Luke chapter 13 from verse 1 to 9. And it is in two parts. The first part talks about the tragic deaths of the Galileans whom Pilate has sacrificed and the 18 people that the Tower of Siloam fell upon. The second part talks about the barren fig tree. The theme is Lent, an opportunity to bear fruit. My goal is to explain what Jesus meant when he talked about the tragic deaths and also about the fig tree. Jesus from the text began by telling his audience about two tragedies. The first was the death of the Galileans whose blood Pilate had mingled with the blood of animal sacrifices. And the second was the 18 people upon whom the Tower of Siloam fell. The question by Jesus was, did these people suffer such tragedies because they were the worst of people? Definitely not. The point being made by Jesus is that hearing about such tragedies and many other tragedies like natural disasters should actually arrest our attention. They should shake us out of the complacencies with which we get through ordinary life. They should also impress upon us the perils of our existence. In other words, they should serve as a wake-up call because we do not know about our end. My dear friends, it is against this background that Jesus gives us the parable of the fig tree. And it is important to acknowledge that the fig tree was planted in a vineyard. This is quite surprising because fig trees are like mango trees. And to plant this particular fig tree in a vineyard means that it received all the attention given to the vine, such as a fertile soil, plowing, fencing, building a tower, vine press, and pruning, and also personnel. The point of emphasis is the level or the amount of investment made into the growing of this fig tree. Yet, in spite of the investment, it failed to bear fruit. Can we imagine the many opportunities and blessings we have? The temptation to always complain and forget about them is high. How often do we appreciate the air we breathe? How often do we appreciate the life we enjoy? How often do we appreciate the family support we have? How often do we appreciate the job we do and the many others? Do we know that there are people who each day pray for these blessings that we may have taken for granted? Just take a minute and imagine the prayer the people of Ukraine are offering at this particular moment. The season of Lent should help us appreciate what we have. A British philosopher of the 20th century by name C.E.M. Joad said, and I quote, "We have the powers of gods, and we use them like irresponsible schoolboys," unquote. Never was a generation entrusted with so much as ours, and therefore never was a generation so answerable to God. My dear friends, the call by Jesus is for us to be fruitful and useful. Bear in mind that nothing which only takes out can survive. The fig tree was drawing strength and sustenance from the soil, and in return was producing nothing. We are all in debt to life. We came into this life at the peril of someone's life, and we would never have survived without the care of those who loved us. We therefore owe it to family and society to bear fruit and be useful. Abraham Lincoln once said, and I quote, "Die when I may. I want it said of me that I plucked a weed and planted a flower wherever I thought a flower will grow," unquote. The songwriter also says, "Just to prove some love for such unmeasured love." My dear friends, even when we have failed to bear fruit, hearing this parable provides us with the gospel of the second chance. A fig tree normally takes 3 years to reach maturity, and if it does not bear fruit, it will never bear fruit after 3 years again. But this particular fig tree was given another chance. May the season of Lent be an opportunity to appreciate God's mercy and to bear fruit that will endure. May God bless you all. Amen.